now we have two questions about coaching.
Okay.
They want to ask you about coaching, I don't know why. Oh, okay. Then, Robert Dilts speaking about coaching. Which direction do you think in the future is the most appropriate for our profession, coaching? What direction?
Well, in my book, the English title is Coach to Awakener, and I think it's just
coaching
tools for change. You know, what I was saying in that particular book is that coaching is evolving from the sort of small C coaching to the large C coaching, and that it's moving from just a focus only on basically on performance to a focus on the development of the whole person, development of the individual, which then will automatically come out as changes in behaviors. So I think it's important that all coaching begins and it ends with behavior, with what's in the muscle, with performance. That's clear. But now the question is, where do we find the differences that make a difference? So I think in the future of our profession, first we're going to see more acknowledgement and appreciation of some of the deeper levels of change, what I call the capital C part of the coaching. I think also what we're realizing as the profession goes is clearly the end result of coaching is not just this particular behavior, but it's an empowered person. It's a little bit like, you can make an analogy to how does a parent know that they've been successful? It's because they have a child who can take care of themselves, who can contribute well to society, who can, also have a satisfying life, and not just, perform. There are many other dimensions. And I think as coaches, we realize that our basic, deepest value is that of the human being. And that I think as we contribute to helping create more whole and rich human beings, this will also naturally enrich companies and our society. So I think this is our direction, and what it also means, by the way, is that we as coaches have to continue to grow ourselves and develop ourselves as well. So that coaching is not just one way. It's not just, coaches have to learn more skills to coach other people, and they help other people, and they support other people, but also they grow in themselves.
Thank you very much. And now another question they want to know about is an advice. I'm sorry that a coach is being asked to give an advice.
Yes.
What would you say? What would you say to a new coach?
Well, this, I think what we realize, first of all, is that even though it's a request for advice, I think what a good coach would always say to a new coach is not an advice but a question. So just like all coaches, we would ask a question. And for me, those questions have to do with what I would always want to know from somebody just getting started, is to know what is their vision, and what are their values, and what is their mission, and what is their ambition as a coach. Because I think this is this issue of alignment. When all of those things are lined up, that's when we're going to be able both to contribute the best, but also to get the best out of our own work. I think, what I would say probably the first thing I would say to a new coach is, welcome. Welcome, brother. We're pilgrims on the same path. We're looking for the same thing, and to say, okay, the path, it can be long. It's a journey. It can be challenging. And it's worth it. And it's worth it because of what we bring, but it's also worth it because of what we receive from this journey.
Fantastic. Did you know that people say about Galician people that we ask with another question? We
answer another question.
Yeah. So it had reminded me what you said, that you will answer with another question.
Right.
So
that's the other thing. When somebody asks that question, they have to say, well, what are you hoping to find out from the question? So.
Okay. Then 3 more questions.
Yes.
One is, you spoke about leadership, and now another question is, what's the effect, the specific effects, or more even short-term effects that a good leader, like you described, has in their company?
Well, I think that especially in today's leadership and the needs of today's leadership, meaning today not only the idea of crisis, but also today in the world that we live in that has a high reliance on technology, but also needs people to be able to work well together in teams. I think that the main effects, immediate effects of good leadership are, first of all, alignment of purpose, so people are clear what to do, what actions to take. We're saying leadership means go, so we know where we're going. But leadership also, the immediate effects are that people are making right actions, so because they're not acting out of fear and uncertainty and survival strategies, that they're acting from a place where they can be innovative, they can be motivated, and they can be committed. So, to me, those would be in general, the main things. And, I think these are always the key things, and I guess the other thing, based upon what we were saying before, is that another immediate effect is an increase in collective intelligence, an increase in a better and more, both more creative, but also a more wise solution. So this is, again, the notion of emotional intelligence, collective intelligence.
Okay, I'm smiling because now I think about another question, which is everyone would like to have a leader like that, isn't it? Everyone would like to be with this leader.
Yes.
How do you see yourself as a leader? As a leader of NLP and coaching?
Well, it's interesting because I was just doing a course for a group in Luxembourg called the Leadership Academy, and it was a program for women leaders, because this is, I think, is another very important area of women taking their place as leaders. And that was one of the questions they asked me was, how would you describe yourself? And introduce yourself. And I said, well, I think the type of leader that I am is like a pioneer. So I think that there's a lot of similarity between, let's say, pioneers and pilgrims, because with a pilgrim you're kind of following the path. When you're a pioneer, you're making the path to begin with. So I say I like to go out and explore things and discover things, and then in doing so, make a path that other people can follow more easily, that are looking for the same thing. There's an old saying too that I think is very powerful. It touches me, which is, it says that what we want to do with our mentors and our role models is not so much only follow their footsteps, but to seek what they were seeking, to look for what they were looking for. And I think that's, for me, is another thing about being this pioneer and pilgrim, is you're seeking something and you're following a path. But I think as a leader, then, what I've always done, if I think of the books I've written and the techniques or the methods that I've developed, is kind of taking the risk to go out somewhere, be an example, go first, and then find a way that others can come.
Do you feel he's a leader like that? You think? Yeah? Okay. You can say yes.
Yes.
You see it is, but it's not going to be
It's not going to show up on the video. Say amen, brothers and sisters.
Amen.